Two schools separated by just 90 miles, but boy, they put on a show whenever they play. Clemson and UGA, top 20 teams battling this Saturday. I'm Jeff Fischel here on the ACC Digital Network, and joining me now to break down the battle, Manie Robinson from the Greenville News. Manie, thanks for joining us via Skype. Appreciate it. And Manie, I've got to ask, you've been watching this team all August. Cole Stout's performance, evaluate what you've seen out there throughout August, and give me a sense of how much we might see Deshaun Watson against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, from what we've been able to see, Dabo closes most of his practices, but Stout's been steady. It's kind of been his MO throughout his career at Clemson. He's been a kind of even keel throughout. Doesn't show a lot of emotion, which is a direct contrast to Taj Boyd, the quarterback whom he's replacing. As far as Watson goes, Dabo Swinney had a funny joke in his press conference earlier this week, saying that whenever Watson goes into the game, that will be the perfect time for him to go into the game. So he's playing that one close to the vest. But we will see Watson. Don't know when or how often we will see him, but they have committed to saying that he will play against Georgia.
That will be an interesting balance for sure for Dabo and Chad Morris. Now, it strikes me, and you can agree with me or not, the biggest advantage for Clemson is their front seven defensively versus Georgia's relatively inexperienced offensive line. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you'd have to. Just the experience coming back to that defensive line. They've played in big games, played against some tough competition. All the SEC teams that they've played against, all the tough ACC competition that they've also faced, but have that kind of experience, especially along the defensive line, inside with Grady Jarrett and Vic Beasley, an All-American at defensive end. Even though Corey Crawford's suspended for this game, they have another senior that they can slide into his place in Tavares Barnes, who's projected to start at the opposite defensive end.
Now, Vic Beasley told me he thinks they just might be the best defensive line in the country. We find out really fast seeing how they handle Todd Gurley, right?
Oh, absolutely. Those comparisons are tough to combat this time of the year because you don't even have other apples to compare it to. But I'd be hard pressed to find another defensive line, like I said, that brings back this much experience and quality experience. But you look at those two guys, and today, Tuesday, Brent Venables called those two running backs in the backfield for Georgia, Gurley and Marshall, two creatures. And they've used other lively nouns to describe those two guys. It's just amazing to have the two backs of that caliber in the same backfield. You just have to kind of hold on for dear life.
Absolutely. Now, I've got to ask, because this is the last time, at least as of now, these two teams are scheduled to play each other. Is there a chance, what's your sense from Dabo Swinney, whether we could see them playing again in the future?
Well, during his press conference earlier in the week, Dabo kind of surprised me in saying that he would like to play Georgia every year, which is kind of surprising because they already play South Carolina, a tough rival game at the end of every season. Just the proximity of the schools, it's a natural rivalry, and it has a great history as far as rivalries are concerned. And also, this may come as a surprise, but Clemson recruits more against Georgia, really, than they do South Carolina. They're in the same footprint and kind of go after the same kind of kid, if that makes sense. So it's just a natural rivalry, and with the playoff system coming and everyone assuming that strength of schedule is going to be a factor, you want to boost your schedule, but also give fans something to look forward to each year.
Manie Robinson from the Greenville News, really appreciate it. Clemson beat writer and perhaps the best Twitter handle of anyone in the ACC. Manie being Manie. Great talking to you, Manie. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
All right, you got it. You're watching the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.